Hi, I'm Christian Watt. I'm the CEO for IronRock Insurance Company, and we're here today to talk to you about the claims process. We've just had a big event in Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa, and we thought it would be helpful to walk you through what the claims process looks like, what you should have in place, and what to expect from the processing of your claim. When a claim happens, emotions are high, things start to move fast, everybody is hunting for their money. It's important to understand the process beforehand so that you know what to expect when the situation arises. We find too often that people's expectations are far misaligned from what actually happens in the process just because they never took the time to understand what they needed to do when a claim occurred. First thing you should do when a loss occurs or if damage occurs is make sure everyone is safe. Safety and protection of life is actually the number one thing you should do, and then we can start looking about our claim. After everyone is safe, you want to make sure that you document everything carefully. That's photos, videos, and making lists. People sleep on lists. Don't sleep on writing down everything that you saw and everything that you think you've lost, no matter how big or small. After you've done your photos and or your videos of the damage, the next step is to contact your insurer or your agent or your broker, depending on how you've written it. But you do have a specific time within which to contact them. You should contact them immediately, but you have, usually most policies give you 30 days to contact them. So you have to make the report and submit those details within the first 30 days of a loss. So you should notify us right away. As soon as you've had a loss, as soon as damage occurs, you need to contact your insurer, whether through your broker or through your agent, or contact us directly. You can do it by email, you can do it by telephone, or you can walk into the office and make your report. You should gather all of the information that you have so far, even if it's a small amount of information. Notification is critical within the first 30 days, as most policies have a 30-day notification period that states that you have to bring to us the details of your loss within 30 days. So as soon as you're able to, and it's safe, please contact us. With Hurricane Melissa, we understand that there is challenges in the West still with power and communications. And so IronRock and the rest of the insurance industry through the IAJ have agreed to extend the reporting period for another 30 days. So instead of November 28th, the new deadline to report your Hurricane Melissa claims is December 28th. To make your claim, to make a homeowner's insurance claim, you need a couple of things. One, we need evidence of the damage. So yes, we're going to send an adjuster. We're most likely going to send an adjuster down to have a look and to do their assessment, but you should document it yourself as well. You need to take photos and or videos of what's damaged. Then you're going to have to get estimates for repairs. So you're going to need to go and get some invoices for the replacement of the items that you've lost, or if it's repair work, you need to go and get contractor estimates for what those repairs are. And ultimately for your home, we're also going to need proof of ownership. So we're going to need to verify the title and verify that you are the person who owns the property before we proceed with settlement. So if you've made any temporary repairs or done anything to mitigate your loss or to keep your loss down and you've spent some money, remember to keep those as invoices, keep those receipts because those are also recoverable. So it's estimates for what repairs you have to do and then invoices and receipts for what you've done already to mitigate your loss or to make temporary repairs. For your home insurance claim, the documents that you need to have in place are one, the evidence of the damage. So we're going to want you to take some photos and videos if you can to show the damage. Yes, we're likely to send an adjuster down there to verify and do their assessment, but you should also have your own photos and videos. It helps with the notification. The next thing you're going to do is you want to keep those invoices and or receipts for any temporary repairs or anything you've spent already. And then you need to get estimates for the repairs and the works or the things to be replaced thereafter. So you need to submit both what you've spent in order to mitigate your loss and then what you plan to spend in terms of an estimate thereafter. It is extremely important to have photos and video evidence. Real-time evidence helps us to move your claim along quickly. It avoids delays and it avoids disputes when it comes on to assessing the damage. So an adjuster is a third-party licensed individual that's sent by your insurance company to assess, to inspect, and to record the damage and verify that what you have said is damage is actually what's covered under the policy. So you can expect them to show up, to take measurements, to verify your cost estimates, to verify your invoices, and then ultimately write a report to us, your insurers, to say that they verified everything you said is damaged, they verified the estimates for it, and they recommend that it falls within the policy coverage, yes or no. When your adjuster is going to show up, you should prepare for that visit by securing the area, making sure you've captured all the photos and videos so that you can show them any damage that has happened that you may have cleaned up already. Make sure that you gather up all receipts and invoices for what you've spent already in mitigating your loss, and then making a list. That's one of the key things that you can do, is to write a list of everything that you've seen and everything that you've seen as damage, because then they can compare that with your policy schedule and make sure that you're getting all the items covered properly. So what happens if you haven't covered everything in your house? Or what happens most times is we realize that people don't remember what they have covered in their house. That's why it's important to take a photo or video, make a list of everything, and your adjuster is going to work with you to identify what you had on your schedule and what you didn't have on your schedule. So it's better that you provide the list of everything and the photos of everything, and then the adjuster can say, well, this was insured and this wasn't insured. This was on the schedule or this was not on the schedule. But if you take it upon yourself to disregard some of the items because you didn't think it was there, then you could be prejudicing your claim. So it's better you just list everything, show pictures of everything, and let our professionals and let our team weed through it and give you the appropriate coverage. So the adjusters and the insurers' roles are quite separate. I want to remind everyone that the adjusters are third-party independent firms duly licensed by the FSC, and they're engaged by the insurers to go and do these assessments separately, and they're held to their own professional standard of care. The insurers then take those assessments and read the reports and make sure that they're in line with the coverage and issue the settlement. To determine your settlement amount, first we start with your replacement value and make sure that you're adequately insured. As long as you have insured for the correct replacement value, then there's no adjustment for the average clause. After that, we take your estimates or your repair invoices and we deduct your excess from it, and then we make an offer for settlement. Your deductible is the amount that you have to stand in the event of any claim. This applies across all policy types everywhere in the world. So property, home insurance, motor insurance, all of them have deductibles. And what it means is it's the first amount of a claim that you as a policyholder have to stand. So in the case of a homeowner's claim, the typical deductible for hurricanes and earthquakes, which we consider catastrophes, is 2% of the sum insured. So very simply, if you have insured your home for $10 million, then 2% is $200,000. Your deductible is $200,000. So your deductible is the amount that you have to pay in the event of a loss. And so your deductible works as a percentage of the sum insured. So for hurricanes and earthquakes, your deductible is 2% of the sum insured. So if you insure for $10 million as your sum insured, then your deductible is 2%. 2%. And that's for hurricanes and earthquakes. And that is $200,000, which means that any loss is not covered below 200,000. And once you have a loss over it, you cover the first 200,000. The average clause is another critical part of the policy that every property insurance policy carries. And it's one of those that is often misunderstood, but it's quite straightforward. What it says is that you have to insure the property for how much it would cost you to replace the property at any given time. And so if you don't do that, the average clause says that you share in the amount that you're short as the policyholder. So in simple terms, if your property should be $20 million, but you have only insured it for $10 million, then you have only done 50% of the insurance. You will only get 50% of the claims. It's quite straightforward. It's pretty easy to understand once you know the formula. And it is what you did insure for divided by what you should have insured for, and then you multiply that ratio by your loss, and that's how your settlement is calculated. The main reason that homeowners' settlements are lower than they expected are the two clauses, the average clause and the deductible clause. At IronRock, we spend a lot of time explaining to our customers how these work. We spend a lot of time with our clients to make sure that their values are adequate and up to date, and helping them to understand how the deductible works. So you can always call an IronRock rep or one of our agents, and they can explain everything clearly to you, and it's clearly laid out in all of our documentation. So processing a claim begins after you've notified us. Remember that you have 30 days to notify us under normal conditions following a loss. So once you've notified us and submitted all of your documentation, your invoices and/or estimates and your photos and videos, we'll send our adjuster out. And then thereafter, it typically takes a couple more weeks for your claim to be processed and settlement offered. That's for straightforward claims. More complex claims can take a little bit longer. That said, we're very proud at IronRock to say that we paid our first Melissa claim just 22 days after the storm passed. So your claim will take a couple of weeks to process, and things that can delay it are stuff like late documentation, lack of access to the property, lack of cooperation or coordination with the assessor. These things typically hold up the claim. Late notification of the claim also holds it up. So we need to get the information in as quickly as possible. We need to get your documentation and your list done as quickly as possible so that we can speed through the claim settlement for you. At IronRock, our tagline is Insurance Simplified, and we aim to do just that. We assign our adjusters right away so that they can get started on the claims process as quickly as possible. And then we communicate exactly what's in the policy and what to expect so that you know what your claim settlement is going to look like as soon as possible following a loss or damage. For 2026, you should definitely review your values. That was one of the biggest issues we saw last year with Hurricane Beryl. It's certainly another issue that we're seeing come out of Hurricane Melissa. Too many homes, too many properties are underinsured. So the biggest thing you can do next year is review your values. Whether you get a valuation or go talk to a contractor friend, get an update on what your values should be and increase the sums insured on your policy. Also, you need to look at your contents, update your contents inventory. If you haven't looked back at what you bought in your house for the last 5 years, you're likely to have way more inventory in your house, way more furniture and appliances. Please go and update it. We have a great tool. You can check the link in our bio. It's called IronRock's Home Inventory Toolkit. You can go ahead and check it out in our bio, download it. It helps you walk through every home, every room in your home one by one to help you update the inventory inside your home. A review of your home insurance every year is critical. Remember, construction costs change annually. There's inflation, there's foreign exchange devaluation, and all of this is related to the value of your home. So you have to make sure that you review it every year, make sure that your values stay up to date, because if you have a loss after 3 years of not reviewing it, for sure the average clause is going to affect you.